Good morning. Welcome to 4x8 Paper Stuff. This is Beth. We are in a creative mixed media art journal, a traveler's notebook size, following the words and wisdom of Mark Twain in his book, Following the Equator. Sit down, enjoy, and let's see where we go. Okie dokie, I'm showing you some more paper that I made. I had talked all the way through this video. It was 40 minutes long. I could have cut some of it out. It would have been really jumpy, splotchy. It wouldn't have been right. And I prattled on about some silly things, so I needed to mute myself and start over. But we are in a chapter where he's leaving Sri Lanka for India. And he goes from Colombo, Sri Lanka, to Bombay, or Mumbai, as it's now called. And he talks about traveling by way of the Arabian Sea. It took 6 days, the enchanting color, and crows. So, I pulled out and Diane Reevely did a video that I watched yesterday that she forgot to turn her camera on. I'm like, yes, Diane did a Beth. Diane can do a Beth. I can do a Beth. But she also did a really cool tip in. And I thought, well, I'm going to try that. I kind of got off kilter. My map of India from a child's textbook will not fit in the width of my traveler's notebook. So I take it to my copier and I shrink it a little bit. And then I still have this great map of India to use in a future project. That's my problem. I'm not supposed to be photocopying things, but I still am. And especially this map. This map is particularly good. Anyhow, I just like the colors. So I take my red that reminds Mark Twain of the enchanting fiery colors. He actually used the word fiery red everywhere. So that's a jelly plate that I did, I don't know when, but it's got fiery images of red everywhere. And I love that green. Try not to make it look too Christmassy. This is how Diane Reevely did her tip in. She glued part of the page down. Now I lost part of that green jelly plate. Hindsight, I may not have done that, but it's okay. It's done now. Can't change it. And it's done with double-sided tape, so it's there. But I actually used the other side. Okay. Anyhow, no, I didn't. This is how Diane did hers. She glued it down and then put something over it. Or, no, she didn't. Don't listen to me. I'm confused. Now I sound worse than the video was when I was talking. So I'm putting the red back on top because I want the side sections to be the fiery red and the green to be the portion for the map. And I'm really letting the paper do the talking in this spread because I don't do a whole heck of a lot more. At the time, it took me 40 minutes to make all this, but that's neither here nor there. So I do cut this out and I put it across the green. And then I'm going to have to, I was really struggling because at this point I realized I didn't do it exactly the way Diane did. Now, I don't have to. I didn't have to. I just thought the way she did it was cool. And I thought I could do it without having to refer back to her video, but I couldn't. So it is what it is. Now it's mine. But I like this center tip-in type, which I've done a couple of them already. And rather than the side tip-ins. So this is cool. I'm okay with it still. And I'm looking for a credit card because I know I have some hotel key cards that I need to spread this out and make sure it's adhered to that green paint. Because sometimes adhering to the green paint is problematic. Now the back of this is problematic because I don't want that yucky side of the green. And I'm trying to go through my paper here looking for things that I've made and to be the back of this sheet. And I do finally come up with something, and it's one of my own printables that I made off of Procreate. But I still, again, the fiery red is supposed to do all the talking, because this is what he talked about in this chapter were the colors of India. I love the colors of this red. There's so many different colors in it. There's blue, there's yellow, there's green. There's like 7 layers on this jelly plate. I wish you could see it better with the camera that I don't. The camera picked up better than it did, but it doesn't. There's blue, green, yellow, and then red on top of all of that, and it's just luscious. And I'm back to my printables. I was trying something else and it didn't work, but these Nick Bantock prints, love them. So anyhow, I got out one of my own, and it has a lot of Egyptian stuff on it. So I'm trying to eliminate the Egyptian part. And what I use, even though that would be okay with me, truly, but I didn't want it so blatantly in your face. There's a stamp that says Egypt with the Sphinx on it, and those artifacts remind me, I don't know if they're from Egypt or not now. They're somewhere in the Middle East. So I eliminate all that part, except for the stamp, and then I end up covering it up. Now, at the end of the chapter, he talks about these black crows that met him on his balcony every night in his hotel, and they talked about him, and it was really weird. Cute, but weird. And I know I have a Black Crow Halloween stamp, a raven stamp. Oh, and I found a New Zealand map too that might go back in the other volume. So the traveling to Bombay, the fiery red, and the Black Crow are the highlights of this chapter, besides his political, social, economic commentary that he has in every chapter. That really is the main base of every chapter in this book. There's just tiny specks of geography. And I'm trying to pick those out and also use some of his phrasing, because his wording to me is really cool. Like enchanting color, lots of fiery red everywhere. I couldn't have thought of that. I may have, but it would have been years, and we all would have been old and gray and in a nursing home by then. So I was looking for Black Crow washi tape, which I thought I had, but apparently I don't. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to stamp this Black Crow on. And I finally come up with some of the eco-dyed stuff that I did last week or the week before that turned out pretty purple. But it still looks kind of creepy and old, and it works for me. And I was having a little, that's the one I made on the computer. This is the one I made in a pot that I cooked. But the stamp was not participating in all of this. And I don't know if it was the eco-dye that repelled the ink. My ink pen might be dead. My ink pad might be dead. I know I have one of these stays on ink pads that's kind of dry. Anyhow, I finally get it to come up, and it's good enough. It's very faint, but that's okay. It works with the aesthetic of all of this. And then I just add some ink to the edges and put it over the Sphinx stamp that's on that rug. And it kind of all blends in, but I'm okay with all of that. And I know it's there, and it looks a little bit Nick Bantock-ish by blending in, theoretically, in my head. So my journaling, I put arrived in Bombay by way of the Arabian Sea after 6 days at sail. Enchanting color, lots of fiery red everywhere. Unabashed, those are his words, unabashed black crows gather on my balcony and talk about me every evening. Those are his words. And I just love that. And just these little bits of journaling to me will spark my imagination. Maybe not when I'm to the point I'm in a nursing home, but next year and the year after, I'll be able to enjoy these and go back and look at these journals that I did of Mark Twain's journey and think about the black crows on his balcony talking about him. So he says, that's why I do this. Just to make me think about things that I normally wouldn't think about. Black crows talking about me. The wording of fiery red. Is it magical? To me, yes. Uh, are these journals magical to me? Yes. Is Nick Bantock to me magical? Yes. Is the fact that Diane Reevely forgot to turn on her camera also magical? Yes. Like, you should have seen me. I was doing a little happy dance over here. I'm like, yes, yes, I'm as human as Diane Reevely. Anyhow, I appreciate you watching. Thank you. Thanks for your comments, you guys, very much every day. Thank you. And I will be back tomorrow in Bombay still. So, thanks for watching. See you all tomorrow. Bye.